Welcome everyone to today's video. A few videos ago, I did mention that I am temporarily living in a location in Florida, more specifically Melbourne. But again, it was temporary. So I have found a new location. I will be moving this weekend actually. So there may be a delay in my video uploads once again, but I'll get right back to it after I get settled there. Where I'm going is south of Claremont, and I've been wanting to ride the wall route there so bad, so I'm super excited. I just really want to compare how the climbing is out there versus my climbing experience in Vegas. But I am kind of happy that I'm leaving this area. It's been pretty good with bike lanes and all, but there's seriously just construction, and they really cleared out a lot of trees here, so it doesn't have a lot of foliage either. So it's not much to look at. So there's two things I want to discuss today. One is definitely my front wheel has been officially fixed by Velomine. I'll go over that shortly. And also my vintage steel setup right now, and it's seriously the fastest setup I've ever made. So a few videos back, I talked about how I was having some issues with the front bearing. Every time I was out of the saddle or sprinting, it would kind of feel like it's skipping and make a knocking noise. I reached out to Velomine. They had me send the wheel back and they inspected the spoke tension. Now it turns out the spoke tension was way too tight and it was causing deformation in the hub where it was not as tight as it should be to keep the bearings from skipping. So when I received the wheel back, I am happy to announce that everything is totally fine as it should be. Like I said in my previous review video, these are still my all-time favorite wheel set. They are budget oriented, which I like, and they also work with frames that have a 126 millimeter spacing in the rear. Now, when I say that this is my fastest setup ever, I really mean that because, first of all, I am on the 1991 Diamondback Master TG and it has oversized tubing. So that really increases the stiffness, but doesn't increase weight too much. And I love my Fuji bike. I truly do. But I can tell the difference. When I built this and got on this bike, it was significantly better in power transfer. Also, I have an almost complete Suntour GPX group set I'm using, and if you have it adjusted correctly, it is smooth like butter. Now, Suntour does have the issue where it can be a little finicky at times, and I've experienced that when I initially built this. Basically, the tension for the shifter cable for the rear derailleur, the barrel adjuster wasn't adjusted quite right and it had some skipping issues, but I adjusted it correctly, haven't touched it since, and there's no misshifts or any skating whatsoever. Also, even the single pivot brake calipers, I seriously love them so much. You're able to modulate them so well. And if you need to squeeze the brake lever for like an emergency situation, they'll get you to stop real quick. Also, I'm still using the original Suntour brake pads and they're actually really good. I'm quite impressed with how they feel. It feels so good to be able to climb and not feel that knocking in the front hub. The only catch with the Suntour GPX group set is I, for the life of me, cannot find the aero brake levers in good condition. Once in a while, they'll pop up on eBay and they're just completely trashed, like a toddler got a hold of them and they're just completely destroyed. The rubber's disgusting. So that's why I have the Shimano X-Sage aero brake levers. The colors match so well, so I'm not complaining too much. And really, they're my favorite aero brake levers that I've tried. Even better than the BL-R 600 Ultegra aero brake levers. Their shape is just a bit better. The texture of the hoods and definitely the color as well, because that gunmetal gray really looks cool and it matches with the Centaur GPX group set. Now I do have the GPX crank set, which is 5242 chain rings as well, but I decided to stick with the FSA Vero crankset. It's still for a square taper bottom bracket, but it actually performs pretty good. I just think that it matches better with this build being all black. Also, I did mention in a previous video, there's a better set of down tube shifters than the Centaur Cyclone, and that is the Centaur GPX down tube shifters that I'm riding now. These things shift so smooth, they feel so nice, and even the friction mode is buttery smooth as well. Also, I was able to snag an all black with gold accents Nitto Mod 55 drop bars with the traditional drop bar shape. I do have an all silver version of the Mod 55 drop bars, which will be going on a familiar bike in the near future, so stay subscribed for that. But I did have them on this bike, and I didn't like the silver drop bars on here, but the black ties it all together. What also ties things together is the logo on the Origin 8 seat post matches with the logo on the hubs. I just think those little details like that tie a bike together. But that's besides the point. That's more of a style rather than the actual performance of the bike. In conclusion, Centaur GPX, Sun M13 wheelset, and the oversized tubing from the Diamondback road bike, it truly feels like a rocket ship. I have owned a Cannondale CAD 10 Ultegra back in the day, so I have kind of a general understanding of what performance feels like. And of course, it's not gonna be 100%, but I can acknowledge this thing is a beast. But yeah, enjoying one last ride around this area. I'm gonna be moving this weekend. I'm starting a new job soon, so everything is gonna be pretty hectic. There might be a delay with me posting on here, but I'll put more frequent updates on my Instagram, so feel free to follow me there. I hope you enjoyed this video in regards to my Diamondback build and then my Sun M13 hub fix. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment below. But once I get settled, I'll be posting again. So I'll catch you in the next video.